penis needs to be this size. Like, he gotta look like this.
Looks for, so you can't have 2 out of 3 and say, oh, I'm high value. You say that you have what 3 or you don't.
Because that booty fat.
And then how many booties are you willing to go through before you realize that you've wasted
They don't care.
X amount of hours, and that's the mistake.
What are older women supposed to do now? You know, because you don't want men to date till 30. So now what are women supposed to do?
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Millennial Inc podcast. We're your hosts, Gray
and Inez.
And today we have, I guess he's a special guest.
A very special
I'm
guest.
definitely a special guest.
A super special
Don't
guest.
play it.
We have Richard Reyes, aka my annoying brother. Yes.
That's an earned title. Annoying is an earned title. Don't disrespect it.
So yeah, guys, today's topic is going to be talking about standards and if they're too high or if they're too low.
Right.
Or if you just don't know.
Me. I never know. I was thinking about this earlier, actually, because some people may consider your standards to be... I consider myself to have low standards. But for other people, it may be considered too much. Like something as simple as basic communication, you know, loyalty. Just off the top of my head, to be honest. Because I've seen a lot of people be very specific in regards to the standards that they like. I want my man to make this. He needs to be this tall. His penis needs to be this size. Like, he gotta look like this. And I want him to drive this car in his own place, and you know, and then we have those. So,
well, we also have the male perspective too.
Yes, we do.
Oh no, yeah, I'm just listening for now.
For now, so here we go. Here we go. So, do you consider yourself to have high standards or low standards?
I feel like I've recognized now that I'm older. I recognize times that I had low standards when I was younger.
Okay.
So I feel like you could have low standards at one point and not really know because you don't know maybe your value at the time. But I feel like that could always shift because of that reason.
I was reading an article that basically said it's high standards versus low expectations. So at the time, you may have had low expectations of people. And there seems to be I think there's a big reflection on self-esteem in regards to what your standards are. You know, if someone has very high self-esteem, they're going to obviously have high standards. Because if you see yourself in a high light, you expect the best from yourself and others who are with you. Versus having low self-esteem, even if you don't consider yourself having low self-esteem, you may be susceptible to allowing a few more things slide than what the average person will be.
How bad are they sliding?
Depends on the person.
I have a question, completely off topic.
Okay.
How long did it take you to gel your edges?
2 minutes.
They look good. They look great.
2 minutes.
They look good. That's probably why. Stop. North be like.
I had to ask. Sorry. Carry on.
Oh no. But otherwise,
2 minutes anyways.
Yeah.
It took me 2 minutes.
Flawless.
Thank you.
A hand for Gray.
Thank you.
A hand for Gray. Period. Continuing forward, I do think there isn't a big reflection on your self-esteem and standards.
And expectations.
That's the other category. Because standards and expectations are different categories on their own, in my own opinion. Your standards cannot honestly be the reality of what your expectations are. I can sit here and say I want a high value man. Am I a high value woman? Who knows?
That's up to the guy that you're talking to. That's up to his standards to determine if he could see that.
I don't think it's up to that standard.
Because technically every guy is gonna have different needs and different demands.
Right.
Which means that being a high value woman is it depends on who the guy is and what he needs.
I don't agree. If you're a high value woman, that's just it. You
No,
are.
that's not how
But
that
it's
works.
not
Yeah,
that. You could be
that
a
is
high
not how
value
that
woman to
works.
someone, but not of a high value woman to someone else that has different morals and values and has different needs.
I mean, there's commonalities that men look for in women. Right now, yeah, I mean, every woman's going to be a little different, but for the most part, men are looking for similarities for certain things. And if a woman has certain attributes, yeah, she could be different. She could be in a different career, different personality. But if she's delicate, she's feminine, she's beautiful, intelligent, those are things that all men want. That's a standard across the board.
Yeah.
So almost every man will consider that a high value woman because of the rarity of that combination.
Like every guy will have that standard they look for in women, yes, but obviously there's certain things that separate a girl from another girl that you're into her and not the other one.
Right. So I guess I want to just get a better. What are we trying to unfold here?
Do people really have unrealistic standards?
Absolutely.
Do their standards meet?
Absolutely.
Right. Do their standards?
Easy question.
You know what's also, it could also be because we're not basic here, Mindful Millennial. We unfold things, right? It's not just unrealistic standards. What is the standard? I'm trying to remember what it was that you said for a woman to be intelligent, beautiful, and feminine, and what was the other?
And probably supportive, because guys always talk
Supportive.
about having females that are supportive.
You know, when men say that they want a woman that's submissive, it's just a woman that's agreeable, a woman that's supportive. The word submissive has a very bad connotation to it, but all that men want is a woman that's going to be agreeable, that's not going to be combative, that's not going to give attitude and rebuttal everything. A woman that's going to be supportive, even if she doesn't believe it's possible, that she still supports the vision. Every man is going to want that, even if you go to the gym with him or not.
I mean, that's an example.
I'm saying, like, these are core fundamental things that every man wants.
Where do we really get lost in the standards versus the expectations?
What if the female doesn't feel supported? No one ever talks about that.
Talk about it.
What if you feel like you are doing what you need to do to support your partner, but you don't feel like you're getting the same genuine support? Or vice versa, or contrary, there's people that will show support to that person, and then if they don't get the same back, they get mad.
Well, I mean, you can't give only with the expectation to receive.
But there's people that do that.
Well, then those are people
just
that
like,
you
wow,
should
I
stay-
did X, Y, Z for you, and now
then
you...
those are people that you need to cut.
But that goes back to the low self-esteem thing.
And the expectations.
And the expectations. Where is it that the standard is you need to be beautiful, intelligent, and this? What if you already meet those criteria, but now the expectation that you're quiet or agreeable or
Well, I
hard
mean,
worker?
that's one of the core attributes that a man looks for. So you can't have 2 out of 3 and say, oh, I'm high value. It's either you have all 3 or you don't.
But see, this is where the problem is, because a lot of women false claim that they're of high value because they're beautiful and this, but sometimes...
But equally, a lot of men claim that they're high value,
true.
and they're not.
That's true.
So it's 2 heads to the same coin. It's not just women that do it; men do it too. You know, and you have to call bullshit when you see it.
Right.
But
Like the fake beards.
the what?
You know the guys that paint the beards?
That's a fucking crime. Yeah.
That is not a
That's a crime.
That's a crime.
That's a crime.
I'm sorry, these are fake. My makeup, my face don't look like this. I'm not this like.
Is your beard fake?
No. But I could wear a wig. I don't, but I could.
Look, one thing is for a man to have his insecurities, and that's fine. But, dude, own what you got.
Or the guys that have gotten surgery on their knees to get taller.
Yeah. I don't have friends that do that.
Again, it goes back to low self-esteem, though. Because if you have low self-esteem, you are going to be... I think we were talking about this, too. You take what is expected within the role that the person is filling. You know, that's just the reality of the situation. Exactly. You're choosing to accept it. So it's not one of those things where it's like, all right, here's my standard, and then the rest of it, of the expectations of what I come with it, of what comes with it, is just whether or not.
You know what's the first one of the first exercises that they put you through when you go to couples therapy?
They make you fill out an assessment, I'm assuming.
No, they have you do this exercise, and it's called communicated expectations versus uncommunicated expectations.
Okay.
So what you essentially do is your partner goes to one side of the room, you go to the other, and you each write down things that you expect but have said, and all the shit that you expect but never communicated.
Yeah.
And what you'll find is
That's a
there's
good one.
a plethora of things
Yes.
that you always expected, but your partner never knew that you expected it, so they didn't deliver it.
Right.
And then you wonder where the resentment
Came from
in the first place. Because
Oh
you
my
have all these
God,
expectations that were
yes.
never met, but it's because you never communicated it.
Yes.
Or they would come up in an argument after the fact, after you do
Right.
something they don't expect you to do.
Right, so
or
the
if they
next thing
expect
is,
you to do something differently.
So the next thing is turf, tone, and timing.
Okay.
Right? It's how are you communicating it? Under what turf? What's your tonality?
And what time? When?
And at what time? Is it
When?
when she goes home from work and she's
Right,
stressed out?
exactly.
Is it when she's trying to deal with the kid? Is is it when she's doing chores
or on her period.
or in a period? Right?
Yeah.
Timing matters. Tone matters.
Yes.
Turf. Are you saying this during an argument?
Yes.
After an argument? So the timing, the tone, the turf in which you deliver this communication has a
called
huge impact.
HALT. So it's hungry, angry, lonely, tired. HALT.
I don't know who HALT is, but
That's
we
the
can get into
acronym.
it.
That's the acronym for it. HALT. So when you're hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, that's when you make like the worst decisions. You can't sign a contract.
I feel like as a New Yorker, that's 24/7.
I mean, yeah, it is, but you know what? And that's why we're so aggressive out here.
We're
Like, you
always
can't
angry.
be feminine out here.
Yeah.
It's one of those things
so
where
much.
you have these standards, but sometimes you don't meet the expectations.
So I think the thing is here, okay, so we all have these standards, and a lot of people, men and women,
right?
they have these standards that they just don't qualify for.
Yes.
How do you know that your standards are above your ability to actually attain it? If you have these standards and you're still showing up empty-handed, your standards are above your means.
I agree.
Because you can't match that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because you
A
can't
lot of
attract
people will
it.
be kind of put on the spot if you ask them, like, okay, you want this, but can you match that?
You can't attract it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you have a standard that you can't attract, you're aiming too high.
Or that you can't. I do this with my groups too. I be like, think of what you want. Like physical characteristics, personality, what do they smell like, how do they cook, who they are, and ask yourself if you yourself deserve that person. Do you reflect those characteristics that you seek onto others? Are you kind? Are you a person of God?
Or if you were that person, would you accept yourself?
Exactly. And that's where in reality we got to sit here and be honest about our separating the standards and the expectations. That's the first big thing. What are you willing to accept and not accept in someone?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to set their non-negotiables, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are my non-negotiables. These are my boundaries.
Boundaries.
Boundaries are so important in every relationship. Within family, lovers,
Friends.
student, disciple, right? There always has to be boundaries. And the sooner those boundaries get set, the healthier the relationship is. And these boundaries, as soon as they step out,
Yeah.
you have to correct it. I heard this saying once from Jordan Peterson, delayed conflict is magnified conflict. The longer you wait
Yes.
to address an issue,
Yup.
the bigger the issue
The
becomes.
bigger it
You know what's so
explodes.
crazy?
Yeah.
I that's a beautiful quote because my clients are men that are very much like, nah, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna partake. I'm not. I'm like, but you're just sweeping it under the rug, and if you keep
Prolonging
sweeping
the
it,
And it's
issue.
growing.
yeah, it's growing and it's gonna
growing,
fester,
yeah.
and eventually that rug is gonna be a mountain, like trying to uncover the problems that other people can point out
Yeah.
more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
So now the
But it
question
definitely
is,
builds up.
I have a question. Do you as a man feel like you've had unrealistic standards? Have you yourself been delusional in your standards and in your expectations in a woman? Because sometimes there be women, I'm sorry, there's women that check off those boxes and then you meet her and it's like, hey, Like, oof, she is not what I thought, and I've seen it.
I'll say that there are women who have checked a lot of the physicality.
I'm glad you said that.
There's never been a woman that I've met that have met the core principles that has not qualified. So there are some that have met all the physical boxes, all the physical checks, but the core principles, that's where they fail, and those never work.
I feel like that's
because you can't change those.
the main dilemma that men have.
So,
Y'all go by beauty.
well, we're visual creatures.
Men go by
Naturally.
beauty and women go by materialistic things.
Women go based on feelings. It's based on feelings, not materialistic. You guys want materialistic stuff,
Okay.
but you make your decisions based on how you feel.
Okay.
It's
Right?
true.
We are visual, and that's something that a lot of men need to learn to control.
Yeah.
And I always say, look, man, you have to learn to be extremely selective. Sexual transmutation is extremely powerful when you learn to manipulate it and use it. But men would rather give in to their desires versus controlling that
Right.
and setting that sexual standard of saying, okay, well, this is what I'm looking for. If she's here, why would you invest 3-4 weeks of your time into somebody who you know you're not gonna go anywhere serious with?
Because that booty fat.
And then how many booties are you willing to go through before you realize that you've wasted
They don't care.
X amount of hours, and that's the mistake.
I think they don't care. They just don't care.
I hate wasted time.
I think they
so
don't
much.
care when they're young.
I disagree.
So much.
All right, maybe not young, but immature. Because a grown-ass man that values his time understands what is what and how much time a piece of ass is worth. Because there's nothing wrong with investing some time into it, right?
Right.
Buying a few dinners here and there. But some guys be doing too much. They chase it at their own expense, at the expense of their growth, at the expense of being able to save up for an investment. They chase ass at the cost of their own self-development.
That's so self-sabotage.
It is.
It's so self-sabotaging. It is. Because you can go for the female route, because I know many a female.
Yeah, there's females that fall behind on their own things,
attractive
chasing a
male,
guy.
if a lot of females don't know how to deal with attractive men.
Yeah.
That's the worst. That's the worst part. A beautiful man.
Ave Maria.
Ave Maria is right. Because a lot of it's true. They don't really know how to. That man can do anything. Whatever.
You know, actually, what's worse than that? A lot of women that I've seen, they say that they want a man that's vulnerable. But in reality, if you really dissect that conversation, that topic, what women really want is a man that has a high level of emotional intelligence.
But
then,
emotional intelligence.
yeah, you guys don't want vulnerability. I feel like most of you guys don't know what you really want. You have an idea, but don't really express it properly. Because you don't care how I feel. You want to know that I know how you feel.
No.
No, I feel like
Yes.
no.
Yes.
No. Let me
No,
tell
yes.
you. No. Let me tell you
no,
something. Let me
no.
tell you. There's nothing
No.
sexier than when a man is like, "Yo, I fucked up. I did wrong. Forgive me." Like, okay, yes. Yes. I don't know. That's just me.
He's saying that we don't care how they feel.
Oh, I love how y'all feel. I want
Don't trust her, guys. See that face? Toxic.
Right. Oh.
Toxic. So you're pretty much saying that you like seeing guys on bended knees begging.
I didn't say that.
Nah, that's what you said.
Nobody begging
That's
for
what
nothing.
you said.
Yeah, nobody's begging.
He's begging
No,
for forgiveness
no.
in your example.
Please. The point is, that's not the point. The
doesn't
fact of the
happen.
matter is when a man is able to sit here and be like, yo, I was bugging out, or I was just
that's
acknowledging.
accountability.
One thing is acknowledging fault. That's
Yeah.
one thing.
Accountability.
Yeah,
That's
but
accountability.
it also comes with stating how you feel and
No.
yes.
No.
Accountability
No.
is also taking that in.
No.
Okay.
I'ma disagree.
Oh, wow.
With who?
With me.
Good.
I'm saying
Okay.
accountability is separate from feelings, from sharing
Absolutely.
feelings.
Is look, I made a mistake. My bad. My feelings have nothing to do with the fact that I made a mistake.
But a lot of men don't even admit that.
It's like
Well, I
when,
mean,
it's like when your
yes,
parents
yes.
make you,
You know what I'm
apologize.
saying?
Separate conversation,
It's like
but
when
yes.
your parents make you apologize to some kid that you don't really fuck with.
No.
That's a good, right? You
I'm
went
not
left.
talking about that. No. I'm
Like you don't fuck with him.
I guess
But you'll be
genuine.
like, oh my
left.
God, bro.
I guess
You
I
know?
like when a man is being genuine,
Okay.
and that to me is still emotional intelligence. Like when they're
Okay,
having,
I would agree.
Thank
I
you.
would agree
That's
with
what I'm
that.
saying.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing
But
wrong with
ultimately, that's what women want. However, when they find a man with a high level, and trust me, there's not that many men with high level of emotional intelligence. But when women find it,
They're emotional.
they don't know how to
that. Deal with it.
deal with it.
No, they don't, or they don't like it.
Yeah, it's hard because with a man that has a high level of EI, it's hard to play with him. They know what they want. They're effective communicators, and they will set boundaries, and they will do it fast. So they call it misogynistic. They call it toxic. No, baby girl, I know what I'm looking for, and this is my lane. If you want to rock with me, this is the lane that you have to rock with. And if not, hey, no love lost. You go your way, and I'll go mine. Mm-hmm. But that kind of mentality isn't really. It's kind of frowned upon when men have that.
I disagree.
If
like
they have it
toxic,
right.
toxic masculinity is its own part. Like toxic masculinity is when a man is being overtly aggressive, overtly just themselves. It has nothing
Okay.
to do with.
Can we
Or control.
acknowledge the
Yeah.
fact that anything that a man does that a female dislikes is labeled misogynistic?
Yes.
Okay.
Society
All right.
does that. I'm
All right,
not.
just wanna make
I'm
sure
not-
that we're on the same page.
I am not taking that away from you. I'm not taking that away from you because I also spoke to someone else. I love getting opinions from other people, especially for this podcast. But it's also one of those things that they say when a man has quote unquote standards, then it's wrong.
Yep.
Versus when a woman has standards, especially
She should.
unrealistic, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, for example,
I
like
don't
when a
agree
man says he prefers a man that prefers to date a woman that's less attractive to him than him.
Oh, yeah, that's just called insecure.
You think so?
Absolutely.
All right, so then I'm just bad
I mean,
with examples.
you also can't compare a man's attractiveness to a female's beauty. I mean, those really are not like that's not apples to apples.
That's true because a woman is always beautiful.
Always. Well, shit.
Yes.
I mean, hopefully.
Not every.
Yeah, hopefully.
But all women. I guess. Damn. What can I say? Like, if you just prefer brunettes over blondes,
Okay.
and the internet just attacks you, like, you should like
Yeah.
redheads.
All women are equal.
Yeah. Or when they be like, I prefer my woman to be fit. I prefer my. Well, that's the bigger one, to be honest with you. The one that is like, I don't like thicker women. I would like a fitter woman. Mm-hmm. You need to love all women. And it's like, well.
Or there's guys that are super fit that prefer like thick girls.
Yes,
they don't prefer fit girls.
That's actually really big in Africa.
That's big in here. That's just big.
Okay.
That just happens.
More power to them.
Respects to y'all.
So in
Everyone needs
Africa,
love.
yeah, but in Africa they have a history of like that's within their culture. They prefer thicker women.
Mm-hmm.
They're
So-
looked at as more.
Going back to the point for a second before we digress. It's hard for a man to feel all those things when women say that they want one thing, but in reality they want another. And to not point fingers, it's fuck it. I'm pointing fingers.
Go ahead.
I'm pointing fingers.
Okay.
I was waiting.
We're here. We're grown. It's okay. Go ahead. Do it. Rip the band-aid.
Yeah.
Go on. Do it.
So many women say that they want A. You give them A, and they friend zone you. If you really wanted A and got A, why are you not attracted to it? Which is why you see so many women who say that they're attracted to this guy, but they date something completely different.
Are you quote unquote talking about the nice guys thing?
That's one analogy to it.
Okay. I'm
The
just
nice
making
guys
Yeah, the
syndrome?
nice guys finished last.
I mean,
Don't
it's-
say nothing. You know exactly it's true.
I know women do have that experience of like being with a guy thinking that he's gonna change for you or be good to you, even though he's been an asshole to everybody else.
Women don't date nice guys.
I date nice guys.
Where is he?
Home.
Wait, the point is, women don't
You're that
date
girl.
nice guys. You guys don't look for nice guys to marry, to date, to fuck. That's not what you guys look for.
That's not true. Immature
Whoa.
women do not do that. Like I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No.
I've done too much healing to accept this.
It's not up to you to dictate the reality.
But
you may
not
not
all
like
women,
it.
not all women don't date.
Yeah.
Eventually, like
You don't.
you learn your lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, look at what she just said.
You don't feel like eventually you learn your lesson?
Eventually, you settle for a nice guy.
No.
No, you
Yes,
learn your lesson.
yes.
No.
I said you learn your lesson. Very different.
Sometimes.
What's the lesson?
That you can't. Sometimes
Oh.
lust versus love. That's the lesson.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's one thing. Yes.
What's the lesson?
That sometimes you go for like something that's
Nah.
maybe unknown or curious or superficial.
Don't
even.
think with your
So,
pussy is the lesson.
How come that's never the nice guy?
Because
I've dated
What?
nice
No,
guys
it's-
that turned out to be assholes too. You know, they're not all good.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Okay,
get to.
no.
That's
No,
what I'm-
wait.
No,
Wait,
no. We're
wait,
gonna
wait,
talk
wait,
about
wait.
this. No.
No,
I have a
we're
great
not.
example.
No, we're not.
We have a great example
No.
of somebody that even you approved
Because-
that turned out to be a dick.
Because you guys being finessed is a completely different story.
I am not
Finesse.
being
So you were
finessed.
finessed as well because you liked him.
Liked him? I don't like many people.
Exactly.
I especially don't like guys.
Well, you approved of him when speaking to me, and guess what? He turned out to be an asshole.
Oh, how the table.
Well, you did something to him probably.
I didn't do any.
What?
Anyway. If I approved him, it's because you fucked it up. So,
Jesus.
That's bullshit.
well, maybe.
I'm not accepting this.
Nobody cares what you accept. Accept that.
A guy could be nice and not be ready for commitment.
Well, it's your job to vet that. You have to vet that. So this is where women fuck up. You guys suck at vetting. And the worse you vet, the more mistakes you make.
Can I say something?
You're going to say it anyway.
Guys always use that bullshit line of, "Oh, I'm not ready for a relationship right now."
So
and
you
then
need to
fast
bring that
forward,
out.
and then they're with someone else.
No, so if he's not ready, okay, well, take care. I am, you're not. You can follow me on Instagram if you want. But this is the last time that we sit down.
You ever seen that viral video that's like, I have no dick? That's what it's going to be like. Because you're not going to find nobody.
Well, you got to pick your poison.
That's true.
You got to pick your poison. Either no dick,
That's true.
and when you get it, it's somebody that you're going to date.
Yep.
Or get dick and get played.
That's settling. I thought we weren't settling.
What's settling?
That.
That is not settling.
Yeah. If
It's-
that's all you have.
Nah, that's choosing.
No, what I'm saying is,
That's just reality. I get you.
So you can't have a good sex life plus have the right partner.
No, you can. I think so.
no, you can have the good sex life once you have the good partner. But if you're just going around from guy to guy,
Yeah.
you'll have the sex,
Yeah.
mediocre sex at best, but you're not going to have the relationship aspect of it.
Right. Duh.
So which one is more important to you? Because if you're looking for
The
a,
relationship.
the right partner, it can take years,
Yeah.
depending again on how active you are.
But see, this is
Yeah,
my
but that's
thing.
what makes-
You don't think that's like normal to sit here and because a man could do that too. A man could sit here and be like, I'm gonna stop dating a girl that's like all about her beauty or all about this, and I'm just gonna start dating someone who's maybe a little bit different,
More
or
knowledgeable.
or
Or well cultured.
you know.
Okay, so what's the question?
I guess I didn't ask a question.
What was the
I said, can't you just go through the healing? Isn't that just the healing process in itself when you finally just realize you can't continue to date the toxicity? You can't just deal
I
with
think
the
that men
toxicity?
should not date at all.
What? What do you mean?
I think that that's where a lot of men kind of stray. They look to date, they spend time, they invest time in women dating, and they haven't built a good structure for themselves. They haven't had a good foundation. I personally, from what I've seen, from what the stats show, a man shouldn't be dating until he's in his early to mid 30s.
Women can't even give birth until that time.
That's a you problem. At 35, I can date a 20-year-old.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But I got to take care of me first.
But don't you think that
You're saying they can't afford
hinders
to
the
date.
experience though? Because
Well,
then
to answer her question,
Okay.
Once you have your house in order,
Mm-hmm.
now you can afford to have multiple women or date multiple
Right,
women.
the affordability.
Right, the
of it.
affordability factor's there, and it's not a detriment to your future goals, to your success, to whatever projects you have, right? Because dating is an investment, both financial and time-wise. And
for guys, got it.
yeah, because really, like, you could date 6 girls, spend $6,000, and have none of them go anywhere.
That's so true.
My guy, what are you doing?
Wait. Can I say this? With that in mind, can't that also affect the type of relationships you have with these women? Because we're talking about emotional intelligence, and sometimes there's just certain things you have to go through a relationship in order to learn. No? Or am I bugging?
So what you're saying is they're better off going by trial and error in their 20s, and by their 30s they know what they want.
Not trial and error, but you do have to. You're not gonna know it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, a man isn't gonna be. You worked. You did this. You worked hard. You gained the stability. But you're still gonna be working. And now I'm dating you, and I don't have time. You don't have time for me. You're in meetings. You're in calls.
Well, that's the thing. Where it's like you want to do all of that while you're still single. So by the time that you're in your early 30s, early to mid 30s, you've already put in those 60, 80-hour work weeks.
But you can't just jump in from. I'm sorry. You can't.
And it's not like you're gonna be a virgin till 35. That's not what I'm saying.
I know.
Right? Like,
that's not what I'm saying either. But
date, but don't be so active with the dating. If you come across somebody and you happen to meet somebody, explore the option.
Because here's my thing. Okay, all right. Here we go. Here go the personal information on the podcast. Here we go the roller coaster. I lost my virginity very late in life. So
not in life.
Yeah, in life. In life. I was a late bloomer. 28. What the average American would consider late?
Her late teens.
My late 20s. 26. I'm 27 exactly. I lost it at like.
You're 27?
Yeah.
I thought you were 28.
I'm turning 28.
Jesus.
Exactly, baby girl right here. Lost it at like 22, right?
Okay.
You, as a woman, you still don't know nothing. I didn't know shit. You get what I'm saying? So, you're right about the sex thing. You're not going to be a virgin, but I still had to go through trial and error to, learn how to be more feminine, more submissive, more, you know what I'm saying? But also learning what I wanted, because I went to Catholic school. It wasn't like I had this exposure to a bunch of men all the time. Like, no, I was just very shy. I know it's hard to believe, but I was just a shy girl.
I mean, men also learn through just like mere exposure, seeing other people's relationships, kind of being aware of what's going on around them.
I think you're giving them too much credit.
Men with high emotional intelligence, they do learn from other people's experiences. I don't need to date somebody that's crazy to know that I don't want that. I mean, it's not rocket science, right? And notice, the older we get, the more selective we get. The higher.
That's me.
Somebody.
That's me. That's not even him. That's me. It's fine. It's my mom. She'll be okay.
So notice, like, the older we get, the larger our list of requirements get. Okay, now they have to this, be a homebody, so on and so forth. The younger we are, the lower our standards are, naturally.
Okay.
As we get older, we change, and now we know what we want, what we're looking for. And you don't have to date 25 guys to know what you want at 35.
But you still need the exposure.
But
you can have the exposure without being the one in the relationship. And it's not the same quality.
It's not.
It's not the same quality.
That, yeah, exactly.
But again, you have to choose your poison.
No, I get it though.
You can afford to have bad relationships in your 30s.
Yeah.
But to kind of bounce from one relationship to the next, when you're trying to develop as a man, you're short-sighting yourself. Focus on you. And with that, you should also focus not just on your money, but on your development as a man, your goals, your emotional intelligence, and what you want. Your standards need to also go up as you develop this person that you want to be. So once you know what you want, now you go into the fucking market. Once you go into the market, right? We can't get demonetized by cursing on YouTube.
We curse all the time.
Okay,
She
fine.
curses all the time. I have to bleep a bunch of stuff. Go ahead.
That was fucking saying.
Exactly. Period. Switch your chest.
It's like you don't want to pay that price up front when you can it's easier to afford down the road.
Don't you run a higher risk with that?
What's the risk?
Pregnancy. You could get a girl pregnant without even knowing. You could
How's that any
get
different?
the wrong woman pregnant without even knowing.
More reason to not date in your 20s.
Nah. Throw it out. Blue tomato.
No, but he's saying, for example, like if well, I don't know, because there's like successful men that they purposely date women that aren't high value because they don't want commitment.
Yeah.
Guys like Leo, no offense to DiCaprio.
But, I mean, he's not looking for a relationship.
Exactly. So we're talking about people that are I'm assuming we're talking about people that are looking for commitment.
People looking for a relationship. Mm-hmm. But also, Leo started to do that shit once he got his shit together.
Why, Leo? Why?
I'm saying?
First of all, Leo is Leo. You're Leonardo DiCaprio. He doesn't have to do anything.
You don't co-sign his bullshit.
I don't, but I support it.
I mean, and
he's Jack. I'm like,
Yeah, that
when
don't
you,
matter.
when you, nah, I'm here for all of it. He's a great actor. Like, I'm sorry, when you can make a bunch of women cry and fall in love with you without even trying, he's so talented. That's besides the point. But what are older women supposed to do now? You know, because you don't want men to date till 30. So now what are women supposed to do?
That's a whole separate topic. The fact that older women have it harder now because there's men that are just, they have more options when it comes to accepting and going on dates with younger girls.
yes. I'd say that women over 30 definitely have it harder now than they ever did before.
Yeah.
Is it fair?
Over 40.
Over 30.
Relájate.
Over 30. Because the reality is, it doesn't matter if it's fair or
30
not.
isn't old.
I'm not saying it's old.
It's not,
You're
but it's
saying
the
that they have it
age
harder.
that women are already, we're already, by 25, by 25, you're developmentally.
Every show we hit a mic, it's okay.
Right. But, fuck. Let me just,
You get it together.
I'm sorry. Women are done developing. Like anything to learn, any skills we were trying to get, anything that like can be implemented in us is done already. So the problem is now that like there are women who are at this certain age that are, oh, I don't want to suck dick. Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, you need it. Like it's the expectations and the standards are crazy, and it's like your eggs are getting old.
Yep.
El toto no es lo que era.
Yeah.
Y hay una joven que tiene menos problema, and you here asking me, what are we? Mm-hmm. That's
the reality of the situation.
that's the reality of the situation. Because it was one of those things where I had to look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, ooh, this ain't working. While I was still young.
Yeah.
And you had to take that break, because it's like a lot of women don't lead each other the right way. Mm-hmm. And in telling each other how to move. Oh yeah, play him. Oh yeah, fuck someone else. Oh yeah, do this. Oh yeah, you just damaging yourself.
It's always single women that give that
it
bad
is.
advice.
You're absolutely right.
It always is.
It is. And it's one of those things where, again, I had to look at myself in the mirror and be like, all right, Inez. How can we be more of a woman? Como que si tú no eres ya suficiente.
Time to learn how to season that chicken.
Yeah.
We're learning to make some homemade.
Yup.
Fucking, what's it called?
I don't know.
What's it called?
I don't
The
know.
shit that you put with the spaghettis?
I don't know.
The sauce. Homemade tomato sauce.
Oh, I can make me some homemade tomatoes.
I don't know how I forgot that.
I can
So homemade tomato sauce.
right here.
No ragu. No ragu.
Homemade tomato sauce.
This
You know
girl
what I'm
right
saying?
here, and it got a kick
So
to
that's
it.
that's what you guys got to do.
Yeah.
Again, fairness isn't part of the equation.
Yeah.
It's the ball. You know, the playing field is different. You know, now you guys are valued at a little differently. You know, than a 26, 24-year-old female is. And yeah, maybe a 24-year-old won't have the experience or the wisdom that a 32-year-old would have, but grown men aren't looking for wise women.
She's just capable. It's the fact that she can learn.
How about if you're already doing all those things, like being supportive, supporting his business, cooking for him, massaging him when he's tired, and then he can't provide his value as a man as far as like, damn, why you can't help me hang a curtain? Why you can't help me hang a TV? Like, that's something a man is supposed to also be able to help with.
Richard.
Yeah, especially when he's being provided everything.
So going back to what we said, uncommunicated expectations.
No, if it's communicated and still not done.
And then your standards. If you don't uphold your standards, it is your fault if they're not held.
If I accept it.
Which clearly you have.
No,
every time that you allow for them to step outside of the boundaries get a little wider and a little wider and a little wider. Next thing you know, they're doing a bunch of shit that you initially said no, but because they got away with it, they just kept doing it.
Right. And then when you set the boundaries and they react differently, that's when you know it's a
the
problem.
longer you take to reestablish the boundary, the worse that conversation is going to be.
Of course. And then if they don't respect the boundaries that you tried to already set, then it's like...
It's like, no. It's like, hey, these are the boundaries. You keep stepping out of it. It was good knowing you.
I blame Disney.
It's not gonna...
I do. Because it gave us the idea, this false illusion that, like, everyone's a princess and that you're just going to be swept off this castle and the man is just going to come into your life and you're just going to live happily ever after. And that's
I blame parents.
Okay. Why parents?
Because they allow the Disney. And they call their daughters princesses and they want their daughters to believe that you're the most beautiful. You're not. You're not beautiful. You need braces and you have a mustache.
What's wrong with you?
You're not beautiful. Just because your daddy calls you beautiful.
We're not co-signing this.
Yes, we are. Because
everyone is beautiful
that
in their own way.
No, they're not. See, that's the issue.
Oh my
that shit
God.
right there is the
Everyone
issue.
is beautiful.
That's the issue.
What's wrong
You're
with
the issue with America right now.
Help.
You're the issue with America. No, you're not beautiful.
No.
If you got a fucking crooked eye, you got to get that fixed.
Oh my God. Please.
No, because this is how men talk to men. And men need this reality check. And women
all right,
need
but
it
you
too.
don't tell little girls that they can't be called princesses.
You could be called a princess all you want, but don't mean that other people will treat you like one. You
All
can
right,
believe
but
it.
that
Okay,
depends on
I'm
the
a king.
values that
Okay,
you
I'm a
freaking-
king. Now what?
All right, good for you. Okay.
So does that mean that everybody's gonna be fucking treat me like a king? Exactly my point.
Hakuna Matata.
Exactly my point.
She said, all right, good for you, king.
Hakuna Matata.
So same shit for the okay. Your daddy called you a princess. Good for you.
False expectations.
Go get a job.
False standards. They're just false.
Princess
My
is
mom-
still whoop some ass. Look at Mulan.
True. I love Mulan. My mom, I don't know why I'm bringing her up. My mom
She
always
just called you.
Right. But my mom always kept it real with me. As a woman being raised by, like, I was never sat here and being called a princess. I felt like Cinderella, but I that wasn't the case. You know, my mom always told me, girl, there ain't no more rich men in the world.
Yeah, so there's girls that don't grow up hearing that princess talk as well.
Yeah.
And one thing is like enforcing like inner beauty, things like that. Like that's one thing. But to be like, oh, you can have whatever you want. You know, you're a princess, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
You can build up the self-esteem, but the reality is that just because daddy calls you beautiful doesn't mean that every man will see you through those same eyes.
So you're not for these fathers that spoil their daughters? So like another man?
You should never spoil your children because the world will not spoil them either. So you're setting up an illusion that the world is fluffy and it's giving, and it will fucking take everything from you if you let it.
Yeah.
And I understand as a parent that you want to give your kids everything more than you ever had.
At least gets everything she wants.
But she has to work for it. She has to earn it.
She's like 2.
And even then.
LOL.
And even then.
Get off this podcast.
And even then.
She's turning 5.
Like, I don't know her age. I was just being...
No, I know, but 5th is a big time. So
I let her have it. Because she was so confident. She's like 2. I'm like, okay, that's true. Yeah, she's 2.
I don't know her age. I'm sorry. My bad. I'll know now. I'll send her a gift.
You know, but it's one of those things where like every girl thinks she's beautiful. Yeah, that got canceled. Well, my trip got canceled. I canceled that shit.
sorry.
I'm casting Disney.
She gotta be set up for disappointments. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
There are no fucking Prince Charmings.
There aren't. No, they're not.
Don't I know?
So I blame parents.
Do you? I mean, it always therapy. It always goes back to the
It goes back to therapy.
It always goes back to the parents and therapy.
It does.
All roads lead to therapy.
Final thoughts, everybody. What we think? Standards high, low. What we think? Final thoughts. What do you think? What do you want to let the people know? What's your message?
My message would be, if you're in a relationship and you guys feel like you guys have been butting heads a lot, sit down, go over, sit down, take a piece of paper, write down all the expectations that you have, that you probably have never expressed or communicated properly. Even if you've said it, if it's said in the wrong tonality, the wrong time, or the wrong turf, it doesn't count. Go back, look at everything that you've ever wanted from her that she hasn't done, and write it on paper. Have her do the same exact thing. You guys come together, and you guys go over that list. The more clear you are on what your expectations from your partners is, the better you guys will get along, because now she knows what you need, what you're asking for, and she will know what she expects for you as a man to deliver. There's no more guessing. Luck is not a friend. Sit down, clear things up, and communicate effectively. That's what I would say.
You? Do you have anything ready?
I mean, I could piggyback off of that, because the fact that people say communication is important, but I think they underestimate how hard it is to consistently do it effectively.
Yeah.
Like, that's really underestimated, because I just know for a fact there's relationships that get messed up because of just communication problems.
And I would add to that, something that, again, that you learn in couples therapy is you never use the word you.
Yeah.
Oh, the camera died.
Oh, that's it. Second shot. Let's go. We're wrapping it up. It's okay.
I guess we'll just go to this one.
No, this isn't. We can't use that.
That hasn't been recording?
It has.
But why can't we use it?
It's still recording.
It's an flattering angle.
It is.
I like my angle.
Well, you know.
Can we use my angle then?
It's not about you. We'll use it when we cut to you.
Okay.
Yeah. My last thoughts would be, don't have expectations that you can't fulfill yourself. If you're gonna if you're gonna have standards, make sure that you reflect those standards upon yourself. If you want a man that makes money, girl, you gotta make money too. If you're gonna be emotionally intelligent, you yourself have to be emotionally intelligent, because that's how it's gonna work out best. Because at the end of the day, I'm not for this idea that one does more than the other.
Right.
We both need to contribute into this relationship, and no matter which way or form, but something that can be. I don't have a standard for what the standards should be. If it works for me, it works for me. Whatever works for me isn't gonna work for you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So that's my final thought.
Okay.
In reality,
What was your final thought?
she said it before we cut.
I was piggyback off of you, and then I was also
Yeah, but then I
focusing on the
piggyback off of
communication.
your piggyback.
And then it died.
Well, how underestimated communication is when it comes to relationships. Lack of communication, or not communicating properly, or even the tones is a big thing.
Yeah. So tone is huge, and then just never using the word you.
That's where you left off. That's actually true.
Because anytime that, and you know this more than most, is like as soon as you use the word you,
It's accusatory.
the person,
Defensive.
no matter how right you are, they automatically go into defense mode.
Yeah, you're supposed to do I feel.
And you will never get them on your side.
No, you will not.
Ever. So by just using the word you, replacing it with we or I, or it seems like, you know, just whatever you do, just don't say the word you.
Yeah.
There's so many other words. Again, I feel, it seems like, I've noticed, I have a question, have you ever noticed that such?
Right.
Just don't use the word you. That's the only rule. Don't use the word you when bringing up any kind of conflict between you and your partner.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's all, again, it goes with the tone and how you speak and communications, proper communications. It's not I talk, you listen, and then you respond. No. It's I talk, you repeat what I said to understand that you grasped it. And then you respond. Well, you're supposed to repeat it as well, and then you respond. So, regardless.
So, in conclusion, how will people know if their standards are too high or too low? What's something that you can give them that can kind of like give them a tip on how to keep track on like holding yourself accountable if you might have high or low standards?
Ines, please.
Take inventory. What do you really want? Realistically, what do you want? We could sit
Knowing what
here.
you want.
Yeah, knowing what you want. Definitely. I had to sit here and be like, all right, well, what do I want? It's not what I want. What am I also willing to let go? Like, let slide by, in a sense. So maybe it's important to me that he's a man of God, but he doesn't go to church. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you willing to accept? And it's in reality, it's picking your poison. It really is. It's
knowing your boundaries.
Knowing your boundaries and knowing what you're willing to accept and not accept. Because I'd rather dance with the devil I know than the devil I don't.
Period.
So I would say that ultimately everybody has to make a decision. If you've noticed that, you know, your standards are what they are and it's been hard for you to find it, you either have to adjust your standards, right, or be willing to pay the price of solitude, until you find it.
Yes,
you have to pick.
Yes,
you have to pick either.
It's a heavy word.
It's a heavy feeling.
High five.
Right, but it's also
here we do this.
I'm not doing that. So it's a heavy price to bear. If you really believe that is what you need and what you deserve, then you should be willing to wait it out.
It's not that heavy because you should love yourself first before anyone else.
And that sounds cute and all.
Yeah.
However, the love that you get in a relationship is very different.
I know, but even then,
so you can love yourself, and everybody should love themselves to an extent. Right?
But
That's
you
great.
gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta want to be with you.
Yeah, but that's not what we're discussing.
It's not, but it's one of those things where it's like, once again, it goes on with the solitude idea.
If you're looking for a relationship, it's because you're looking for something else that self-love does not provide.
Agree to disagree.
I mean,
maybe a little bit, and I'm not.
Why would you be looking for love if self-love is giving you everything that you want?
But that's not that it's giving you everything you want.
Just answer the question.
An external love is not going to satisfy the craving of love that you want within yourself. You cannot rely on your partner for happiness.
That wasn't my question.
It is.
No, the question is, why would you look for love if self-love gives you everything that you need?
Because self-love... Oh, no, wait.
Self-love is different from receiving.
It's fulfilling to an extent.
Yeah.
But you would never look for a relationship if self-love was the end-all be-all. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have it. You should. But it doesn't provide you with all the unconditional love that a person needs.
Or that human in nature.
Or the human interaction, the affection.
I agree with the human interaction.
Humans in nature crave a partner. That's built in our system.
But I don't believe that the love that someone wants can innately come from someone else. I don't believe that.
So do you believe in those people that like marry themselves and shit?
She probably does.
Because you know what I'm talking about.
But that's not what I'm saying.
That's a little weird.
You're not going to have the unconditional... Like, let's say you're missing a parent. That love that you have from a father figure is not going to be reflective upon your relationship. Even though the father figure is very telling of how you go about your relationships. Does that make sense? You know?
That's the father.
I'm not... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Okay. You can't seek the love that you... Like, no one is ever going to satisfy that love that you want. If you want this big old love, like this...
But why are we what-ifing a situation? We have a current situation at hand, right? There's no need to add spin-offs to it.
That's like trauma bonding, right?
The point that I'm making is, if you are looking for a relationship, regardless of where you are with your self-love adventures, if you're looking for a relationship, you have one of two options. Either adjust your expectations.
Not an adventure.
Yes, a self-love adventure. Either you adjust your expectations, or you keep it and continue to wait until you meet somebody down the road that can fulfill that. It could be next week. It could be next decade.
Next adventure.
Yes, so that is my takeaway. You have to analyze, your standards. Have you met somebody that meets your standards? And if it's been a while, you're probably overshooting yourself, and you need to adjust what your standards are. If you feel like you don't need to adjust it, then pay the price and wait.
Adjusting, aka learning.
However, as a woman, time is not on your side. So again,
all right, like come on, like
pick,
really,
pick your
really?
poison.
Is that necessary?
Pick your poison. It's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah, and you guys think it's cute to be 60 with a 3-year-old?
That's something personal. I'm gonna stay out of that one.
It's an example.
I don't know what 60-year-old you know.
All right, guys. I think we can definitely wrap it up. Richard, where can people find you?
They can find me on IG, The Rich Pursuit.
Yes. We'll see if we'll put it somewhere.
You will.
Future Gray.
Somewhere.
Insert somewhere.
Somewhere. Do you
IG
have
handle.
anything going on with yourself right now, or anything that you would like to promote?
Are you joining us on YouTube anytime soon?
Probably not on YouTube.
Okay.
So right now I am working on a brand I've been working on for a few years. It's called Us in Sync.
Okay.
And what we focus on is we work with experts in the relationship field to help couples reconnect and connect at a deeper level. And a lot of times we kind of focus more on the intimacy factor of a relationship, which is more based on feelings. It's not very sensual. Even though sensuality does plays a role in it, you normally want to start with the intimacy factor, because that's where the love lies. That's where the connection lies. You know, strong connection, strong bond naturally leads to great sensuality. But when partners can be intimate and vulnerable and open,
You're giving Future Gray mad work.
So when a couple learns to be, again, can you cut her face out and then just have me in there?
I can't do nothing. I have to listen. I can just smile and wave. Like, go on. I'm not looking at you. Go ahead. Go ahead. The intimacy aspect?
So we help couples explore that. What? You know, so when couples are able to be open and vulnerable to connect and express what their concerns, their worries are, their pleasures, their concerns, it allows for a couple to be more unified than the average. That's why you're seeing these divorce rates at 52%. And who have you ever known to get married with the intention of getting a divorce?
No one.
What's the number one reason for a divorce?
Money.
It's not.
Children.
It's not.
What?
Number one reason?
For divorce in this country right now.
I put in 2 answers.
Incompatible differences.
It's not trust?
Nope. So you know what that means? It means that you have one perspective, I have another. We can't agree, so let's get a divorce. So the root,
or lack of communication,
or lack thereof.
Lifestyle differences too.
That can play a role, but it's common to see partners that have different activities. One is more active, one is more of a homebody.
Yes.
You know, one likes to travel. There's compromise, there's give and take, right? That's not uncommon.
Now we're laughing. Sorry. It's not you. We're not laughing.
Oh, I know it's not me.
It's not you.
It's situational.
It's situational.
I can tell.
This time we actually had a moment. This time.
So, I'll let you finish.
Go ahead. It's okay. Oh, you okay? Oh, you're crying. Oh, okay.
Y'all think I'm gonna sit and fucking have this conversation with you?
Oh, situational.
Oh, you're crying? Stop saying I'm crying. I know I'm crying. We have to go.
All right. So, in conclusion,
Richard, any last remarks? Richard, would you like anything else to say?
what was the name of your latest project again?
Oh, it's called Us in Sync.
Us in Sync. Okay.
Is there anywhere that people can find that?
Not yet. It's still being branded. We're still working on a lot of those details out. But once it is, I'll make sure that you're the first to know.
Okay. But I'm sure you're going to keep your followers up to date. So we'll drop his handle somewhere around here, you guys.
The Rich Pursuit. Don't DM me. I probably won't answer. Actually, no.
Always so humble.
DM me. You know, if I take a while, please forgive in advance.
With serious inquiries only.
Right.
I second that.
Right.
Regardless, I think we could wrap this up. Richard, thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was nice to have a new perspective, laughs and all, because I have to now fix my mascara. But it's all good. It's all good. So today's topic, again, it was standards. Are they too high or are they too low? But again, to each their own. You guys can either take our tips and suggestions or comment below if you feel like you might have other suggestions when it comes to these type of issues. So
my last takeaway, not even takeaway, my last giveaway from men is work on your fucking communication.
please.
Develop emotional intelligence. If you guys want to attract stable women with a good head on their shoulders, good wives, that's what they're looking for. So you can't go out there saying, oh, these women ain't shit when you ain't shit. So go out there, learn to communicate, and develop your emotional intelligence, fellas.
Because that's the mindful millennial way, people.
What she said.
Exactly. So we're out of here.
Peace, guys. Catch you guys next week on a new episode.
Thank
Take
you.
care.